Okay, so what I've done is I've cut the blade in half with a pair of tin snips. Here's the other half. And now after that, it cuts wicked fast through here. It cuts all, I cut these off in probably 5 minutes, if that. Now I'll show you how to get rid of all this high stuff later in the video. But right now I just wanted to show you that how quick it cuts through with using the coarse blade. You definitely want to use a coarse blade because it cuts through like nothing. And from that point you want to go downward on it because you don't want to have to fight the cut this way the whole piece from that little spot. And keep all these pieces because you'll have to use them to fill the holes. It's all the same plastic, really strong plastic too. So once again, I'll be back after I finish cutting the rest of it off. The reason that I'm using a hacksaw blade instead of a body blade is because of they're too short. When you get into a tight spot, these would be fine for it. But when you start getting up here and you got to get close to get it to go through and you want to change blade portions, it won't get all the way up in there easy. There's a lot of stuff that's really hard to get to and the little blade just won't be able to do it. That's why I use the longer hacksaw blades. And the hacksaw blades are a little bit coarser than the actual body blade is. As you can see how fast it's been cutting, it's knocking it out like nothing. Look at that, easy, quick and fast. Okay, so after cutting off all the stuff you don't need, what you're going to be left with are open ports. And that's what the old plastic is going to be for, is filling these back in. But first, if you marked them out like I did, it's going to be a big help in this next step. You're going to want to take your grinder with a flap disc. Well, not a flap disc, but a grinding disc on it. This one is a fine disc. We'll have to switch it for a coarse disc. And you're really going to want a coarse disc because the fine, as you can see here, this even coarse, the plastic will melt to it. But when you start grinding this, these white lines, if you mark them out like I did, once you get to them white lines with your grinding disc, they'll start to disappear. And that's going to tell you you're low enough to stop and start welding in the plastic. Like the other side, as you can see, where there's no white lines left now is because I ground it just to where it hit them lines and it stopped it. There's a lot of meat still left down here from where I did a lot of the cutting with the saw because you can't really bend it while it's cutting. So now you'll have to grind it with your die grinder. And it's real easy. It's going to throw a lot of crap of pieces of plastic, so you might want to wear eye protection and gloves. But as you can see, right here is where I want to start. I'm going to show you that. See, when them white lines start to disappear, it means you're low enough. And you can do it right. Watch for the, when you hit the edges, it'll bounce. So watch that. And as you can see, the plastic is building up on your edges. And because you're basically just melting it. It's not actually grinding it off. It's melting it away. And it throws it everywhere. The table and everything is just covered in black little pieces of plastic. Alright, so, well, I'll be grinding, and then I'll show you what's next after I grind everything to basically smooth. But just remember, these 3 pieces must stay if you're using a drive-by cable. If you're using drive-by wire, you won't have to. But since this is going in an older vehicle, and I didn't want to put the accelerator pedal and everything in, which is just the gas pedal, but it's electronically controlled, then we'll use a cable system, just like the old throttle bodies, carburetors, everything's cable system.